Online, we often come across videos and stories about aliens from other planets. But if that's true, have you ever thought about where they might be now? Today, we'll explore a captivating story involving the Kayapo people. One catastrophic night, their peaceful lives were disrupted by strange sounds echoing from the Toti Mountains. This eerie noise signaled the arrival of a peculiar being, an entity with a single eye and a powerful rod. Well, it may sound creepy, but it is also incredibly intriguing, and we'll uncover more in this video. Join us as we unearth the tale of the alien who lived among men, a story that will leave us questioning the boundaries of our reality, an unrealistic story of the Kayapo people. For centuries, humanity has shared stories of beings from beyond our world. The unknown has always fascinated us, but few stories are as strange and perhaps as unsettling as the tale of the Kayapo people. Living peacefully in the Amazon, deeply connected to nature, their lives were simple yet rich. That is, until one night when everything changed. On a night like any other, a peculiar, otherworldly sound echoed from the towering Toti Mountains. The sound seemed almost alive, a deep, resonant hum that rolled through the village. The Kayapo, who lived in tune with the rhythms of the forest, were instantly on edge. Their elders, the keepers of wisdom, sensed something unusual. This wasn't a storm or a wild animal, it felt like a message. From the mist emerged a figure that defied everything they knew. The entity had a single eye, a strange, elongated shape, and in its hand, it carried a rod that glowed with a pulsing, almost hypnotic light. At that moment, they realized they were face to face with something that was beyond their understanding, something from beyond the stars. The night of eerie sounds. The eerie sound from the Toti Mountains wasn't just a one-time event. It lingered, echoing across the land. The villagers huddled close together, sharing fearful glances, wondering what the night held for them. The elders, who had seen much in their lives, were visibly shaken. They whispered to one another, recalling legends passed down through generations. Legends of star people, of beings who traveled between worlds, and of gods who came to Earth to teach or punish. The Kayapo people believed the mountains to be sacred, a place where the spirits of their ancestors resided. They had always treated Toti with respect and caution, and never before had it responded with such a sound. It was as if the mountain itself was alive, breathing and pulsating with an energy beyond comprehension. Some of the braver warriors decided to stand guard around the village, armed with their spears, ready to protect their people from whatever force had descended upon them. But no earthly weapon could prepare them for what they were about to witness. A living entity from the stars. As the night stretched on, the presence from the mountain drew closer. Out of the mist, the figure moved, its silhouette towering and alien. Unlike anything they had ever seen, it seemed to glide, as if untouched by gravity. Its single eye scanned the surroundings with a cold, calculating precision, and the rod it held in its hand glowed brighter with each step. The light from the rod seemed almost alive, casting eerie shadows and filling the air with a strange, humming energy. When it reached the edge of the village, the Kayapo dared not breathe. Children clung to their mothers, and the elders chanted quietly, hoping to protect their people from whatever this being might be. It was like a god, but also like a ghost, something that straddled the line between the physical and the spiritual realms. The being stopped in the center of the village, studying them with its single eye. And then, without warning, it raised the rod. A beam of light shot out, piercing through the darkness and illuminating the trees around them. To the shock and terror of the villagers, the trees seemed to vanish, only to reappear moments later, untouched and unchanged. The being could manipulate reality itself, the bravest warrior's expedition. As the sun began to rise, the elders knew they had to do something. The presence of the being had left the entire village in a state of dread. They called upon the bravest warriors, those who had proven themselves in battle and in courage, to make the journey to Sarukatoti. These men prepared themselves, whispering silent prayers, and set off toward the mountain. They were armed with nothing but their spears and their determination, though deep down, they knew it might not be enough. The climb was steep and treacherous, but the warriors pressed on. As they ascended, they noticed something unusual. The air grew thick with a strange metallic scent, unlike anything they had ever smelled before. It was sharp, almost acrid, and seemed to grow stronger the closer they came to the summit. It was as if the mountain itself was trying to warn them, trying to push them away. When they finally reached the top, they stopped in awe. Standing before them, on the very edge of the mountain, was the being. It was even taller and more intimidating up close. Pure white, with a body that seemed to shimmer and pulse, it looked down at them with its single, unblinking eye. The rod in its hand glowed with a light that seemed to reach into their very souls. For a moment, the warriors hesitated, feeling an overwhelming urge to turn back. But their sense of duty held them firm. They raised their spears, preparing to confront the unknown. The being tilted its head as if considering them. And then, with a single wave of its rod, a blinding flash filled the air. The warriors felt a strange sensation wash over them, a heaviness that pulled at their bodies and minds. One by one, they collapsed, falling into a deep, dream-like sleep. The Forbidden Mountain. When the warriors awoke, the being was gone, leaving no trace of its presence. They stumbled back to the village, disoriented and haunted by what they had experienced. They told the elders of the creature's power, of the way it had put them to sleep with a mere wave of its rod. It was clear to them that this being was not of this world, that it wielded a power beyond anything they could comprehend. From that day on, Sarukatoti was marked as forbidden. The mountain became a place of mystery, a symbol of the unknown, and no one dared to set foot near it. The elders declared it a sacred space, a place where the boundary between worlds was thin, where beings from beyond the stars might cross into their reality. The village fell into a quiet routine, but the presence of the being lingered in their minds. They knew it was out there, watching, waiting, and though they had survived the encounter, they could not shake the feeling that it would return. The aftermath of the encounter. When the warriors awoke, they found themselves at the base of the mountain, lying on the cool forest floor. Dazed and disoriented, they tried to recall what had happened, but were met with only fragments, flashes of light, the piercing gaze of the being's single eye, and the powerful pull of sleep. They returned to the village in silence, haunted by what they had witnessed. Back in the village, the people gathered to hear their story. The warriors shared every detail they could remember, recounting the overwhelming power of the being and the strange sensation that had rendered them helpless. The elders listened intently, their faces etched with worry and reverence. They knew this was no ordinary creature, no mere spirit or demon. This was something beyond their understanding, a visitor from the stars, a being who could command the very forces of nature. The village's silent agreement. From that day forward, a silent agreement spread through the village. No one would approach Sarukatoti again. The mountain became sacred, a place of forbidden mystery that no one dared disturb. The villagers avoided even speaking its name in casual conversation for fear of summoning the being back into their midst. The elders taught the children to respect the mountain and the powerful spirit that dwelled within it, a spirit that could control light, sound, and life itself. The unseen stranger. As time passed, the memory of the encounter began to fade, though the villagers never truly forgot. Then, one quiet afternoon, a group of young villagers went to a nearby river to swim. They laughed and splashed in the water, carefree and unbothered, until they noticed a figure standing by the shore. It was a man, tall and pale, with a presence that felt both familiar and strange. Unlike the towering being they had seen before, this figure appeared more human. But there was something about him, an otherworldly grace, an aura of mystery, that set him apart. He stood there, silent, his gaze distant as though lost in thought. The villagers watched him in awe, sensing that this was no ordinary traveler. Word quickly spread through the village, and soon the elders and warriors arrived, each of them sensing that this encounter was tied to the events on Saruka Toti. Beep Kororoti, the visitor from the stars. The stranger introduced himself as Beep Kororoti, a name that in their language meant starborn. He spoke with an ease that surprised the villagers, fluently conversing as though he had lived among them for years. He explained that he had come from the heavens, from a place beyond their world. The elders were astonished as he shared tales of distant stars and worlds beyond the mountains. They listened, captivated, as he explained that the being on the mountain, the one who had cast the warriors into a deep sleep, was indeed him, clad in a suit that protected him from Earth's elements. The Starborn's gift. Beep Kororoti did not come empty-handed. He brought with him knowledge and teachings that would change the lives of the Kayapo forever. He taught them new methods of hunting and gathering, tools that were more effective than anything they had used before. He introduced them to ways of cultivating crops and organizing their village. Under his guidance, the people learned to live in harmony with nature in ways they had never imagined. In time, Beep Kororoti became more than a visitor. He became one of them. He integrated into their society, sharing stories, wisdom, and laughter. His presence was like a beacon, guiding the tribe toward a future of prosperity. The villagers built their homes in a circular pattern, as he suggested, symbolizing unity, with the chief's home at the center to represent the heart of their community. A shift in Beep Kororoti's behavior. For many years, Beep Kororoti lived among the Kayapo, his teachings and wisdom transforming the village. However, over time, a change began to take hold. He grew distant, spending long hours in solitude, his once warm demeanor becoming unpredictable. One day, during a routine hunting trip, an argument broke out, and without explanation, he stormed into the forest, leaving the others behind. When he returned, his behavior shocked the villagers. He had painted himself and his family entirely in black, a gesture that puzzled and unsettled the tribe. Armed with his powerful staff, he began acting erratically, firing beams of light that seemed to blind anyone who crossed his path. His former gentleness vanished, replaced by a cold intensity that left the villagers fearful and confused. The tribe's difficult decision. Faced with this strange and frightening transformation, the tribe felt they had no choice. The elders gathered and made a difficult decision. They would drive Beep Kororoti back to Saruka Toti, hoping to restore peace to their village. With heavy hearts, the villagers watched him ascend the mountain. As he reached the summit, the skies darkened and a storm erupted, lightning flashing as thunder echoed through the valley. Then, in a burst of blinding light, he vanished. All that remained of Beep Kororoti was his daughter, Neopoi, who was with child. She would carry on his legacy, and the tribe looked to her for leadership, finding comfort in her wisdom and resilience. Neopoi's role in the tribe. After her father's departure, Neopoi emerged as a strong leader, guiding the Kayapo through challenging times. She upheld Beep Kororoti's teachings, ensuring the village's prosperity continued. Neopoi encouraged council-based decision-making and sustained the agricultural practices her father had introduced, transforming the tribe's way of life. Her leadership helped maintain harmony and progress within the tribe, solidifying her place as a respected figure in Kayapo history. A new spiritual path. In the years following Beep Kororoti's mysterious departure, the Kayapo's beliefs evolved. They had once worshipped the spirits of the forest, but now they began to look to the stars, incorporating Beep Kororoti's teachings into their rituals. Annual ceremonies celebrated his journey from another world, and the elders preserved his story as a cosmic narrative, bridging the earthly and the celestial. The tribe saw themselves as part of a much larger universe, with the stars as a guiding presence in their spiritual life. The spread of Beep Kororoti's legend. As time passed, the Kayapo began encountering other tribes, explorers, and even anthropologists who ventured into the Amazon. Word of the star-born visitor spread beyond their village, reaching nearby communities who incorporated elements of his story into their own myths. Some saw him as a powerful shaman, while others believed he was a divine spirit. When European explorers eventually heard of Beep Kororoti, his tale contributed to the growing fascination with ancient legends of extraterrestrial beings. A world left in chaos. With Beep Kororoti gone, life in the village shifted. The once lush land surrounding them began to wither, animals grew scarce, and the tribe struggled to survive. Sickness and hunger plagued them, casting a shadow over the village. Neopoi, determined to honor her father's legacy, led her family to the waterfall where Beep Kororoti had first appeared. There, she performed a ritual, calling out to his spirit, hoping for his guidance once more. Just when hope seemed lost, he returned, bringing with him seeds and remedies that saved the tribe from starvation. A return to prosperity. Upon his return, Beep Kororoti introduced new agricultural practices and taught the Kayapo to plant the seeds he had brought from the stars. His knowledge of medicine cured the sick, and his teachings ensured the tribe would never face hunger again. As a final gesture, he guided them to Saruka Toti, where he used his powers to create permanent stone dwellings, ending their nomadic lifestyle. In gratitude, the tribe adopted the name Kayapo in his honor, carrying forward his wisdom and legacy. The final departure. Years passed, and the Kayapo prospered under Beep Kororoti's guidance. Then, one day, he and his family returned to the stars, leaving only his daughter, Neopoi, behind. She became a guardian of his teachings, ensuring the tribe's continued prosperity. To this day, the Kayapo honor his memory through ceremonies and stories, preserving his legacy for generations to come. Guardians of the Forest. Beep Kororoti's influence extended beyond governance and spirituality. He taught the Kayapo the importance of living in harmony with nature. His teachings emphasized sustainability, and his agricultural methods allowed the tribe to thrive without exhausting their resources. The Kayapo's connection to the Amazon grew stronger, and they became fierce protectors of the rainforest, fighting against threats to their land and heritage. As we conclude this story, questions about Beep Kororoti's true nature remain. Was he a god, a visitor from the stars, or perhaps a being from our own distant future? His story blurs the lines between myth and reality, leaving us with more questions than answers about the mysteries of the universe and our place within it. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that challenge the boundaries of our understanding.